And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Everybody who's traded has gone through periods of time where their strategy hasn't worked.
Where if not a hard stop, you should reevaluate the trades you're in based on time.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Coach's Playbook. I'm back in the country. Mick has some great facial hair. It's going to be a good one. Today, we're talking about your trading station necessities. So that can be both the physical stuff, what you need at your workstation, but also in the digital realm, i.e. what's in your window, what charts you're looking at, stuff like that. So first, Mick, you have a few shout outs for us today.
I do. Well, I've got a shout out. There's a few shout outs, but I'm going to give Luis Otieno. Apologize if I'm botching the pronunciation of that last name. I'm going to give Luis the spotlight. Up over a little over $3,000 traded in the Nasdaq today. We have had other people making money in the Nasdaq. Luis is at the top of my board today.
A good show, Luis. So let's just dive into it, shall we? Dan, I know that you will. Also, I want to make clear that I am picking Dan first here today. This is a first.
It is.
I know that you're big about your layout and sort of the stuff that you have around your desk. So I was wondering maybe if you could start by what are your necessities for your workstation?
Yeah, I mean, this is such an interesting topic. There's so many things that over my time of sitting at a desk and trading that I've had at my desk that keeps me distracted because I need some sort of something going on while I'm trading. So for the start, obviously I have two computers going at any given time. I have one with mostly just my information, news related stuff. I keep CNBC up. I keep a bunch of different news websites up, Twitter going while I'm trading. So I pay attention to what news is going on there. And then I have another computer where I run anywhere from 2 to 3 monitors. Right now, I've just been running 2 as of late. I have 2 monitors going. That's the trading computer. On one side will be charts. On the other side will be my domes. And that's how I set that up. Now, those are my setups. It's not as exciting. I think the fun stuff is, those things that we keep at our desk to keep us a little bit distracted, or the importance to keep us engaged too in our trading. So number one, I don't like sitting. And when I sit, I get chilly. So I keep a space heater going all the time.
In June?
Yes. Well,
okay.
It's also 58 degrees outside or something right now. So even though it's
Good
June,
point.
it's a little chilly in here. So I keep the space heater. I keep coffee. I have to have my coffee, fresh bottle of water. And then just some stuff for my own sanity. TV. I always got some sort of television on. I like distracting television. I don't have the news on 24/7.
That'll rot your brain.
It will. Something simple that creates a little bit of an office environment, kind of creates a little bit of comedic relief. So I'll keep The Office on or Seinfeld on during the day while I'm trading. And then for me, it's important to have something to take notes with. So I use these hard cards that I've shown historically on here, and I have multiple different color pens, right? So I can highlight and I can kind of color code my notes, and I can pay attention to things. So those are just a few of the things that I have going on. On top of that, I do keep some workout equipment in my office. I have a pull-up bar in here, got some weights to keep the blood flowing when I feel like I'm getting a little stagnant.
A few things I'd like to touch on that you said that I think are important generally is one, it's good to have a dedicated space where you're doing this. I know you can trade from the sofa or the beach or whatever. If it works for you, don't let me stop you. But I think a lot of performance psychologists and things like that would suggest that that's maybe not the best way to get things done. You need to have a good chair, support your back. You need to kind of just be in an area where this is your trading time. The other thing Dan said is, while it's not necessary, having a dedicated trading computer, if you go professional, that's what it's like everywhere. Like when I was trading, we didn't even have our charts on, granted, this was a different sort of platform we're using, but we didn't even have our charts on the trading computers. There was literally computers that were, one or two computers were for the internet, whatever else you wanted, your charts, your CQG. And then one was just had one program on it on the desktop. You open it up and you put trades in there. So if
That's
you
how
can do
we
that,
were.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's how most professional places are. Now, I understand that may not be practical for many people out there, but the advantage of it is, you're not going to get your trading software slowed down because you were, downloading an Adam Sandler movie or something like that. It's good to keep that completely clean if you can. The last thing that you mentioned is, even if I'm a huge spreadsheet guy for everything, but the one time that I write is with trading notes in the moment. I keep a legal pad and a mechanical pencil because the markets move fast. And if you have a position on, I find it difficult to kind of go back and forth and try and, it takes my full attention to type something into an Excel spreadsheet or something like that. Versus if I'm just taking quick notes on something on a legal pad, I don't even really have to look at it. I can just scribble all over, throw it out when I'm done, stuff like that. That was big, especially when you're trading hedged positions, is you're constantly calculating in your mind, like, okay, am I hedged right now? And sometimes a little harder than it seems. Well, cool. Well, Hogue, you have lovely accoutrement in the background. Is there anything else you'd like to add as far as your physical setup or things that you have with you when you're trading?
Well, Jack, one of the things that you said that really sticks out to me is you really have to have a dedicated environment. And now, when we're all working from home and pretty much everybody at Top Step, as far as the users are concerned, they're wherever they are. They're in their homes, they're in their offices, whatever they're doing. And I do agree. It's kind of a mindset change to move into an environment that is largely focused on on trading. So just looking around my office, I got my trading computer. I got a Top Step computer. I got a laptop. I've got 4 or 5 screens. I've got music. I've got a TV if I want it. Like Dan, we always had trading cards, and I don't have this actual trading cards, but I've got these, like, they're kind of thick, kind of like thank you cards, kind of almost just one little piece, and I can put notes on that. This is my legal pad is just a big pile of paper, which I do my emotional journaling on, and I get prepared for the forecast and the recap on this. And I have my coffee cup, and I have a little coffee cup heater that was given to me as a gift from somebody at Top Step a few years ago for Christmas, and I still use it religiously. It just keeps my coffee hot all day. I got a big bucket full of pens and mechanical pencils.
Mechanical pencils are where it's at.
Mechanical pencils.
Keep them sharp,
and then
baby.
Right behind me over here, while she just went out, there's my emotional support dog, Lacey. And always looking for things to distract. I've come back to the guitar.
Yes.
I just need something to do with my hands to keep my hand off the mouse. And that's that.
Nice. Yeah. Work from home is nice, and you're probably doing it if you're a retail trader. But I just saw a story the other day, a few days ago. There was some European flash crash that was caused by a city trader who, have you guys heard about this yet?
No.
Was that
Barron's?
It was city, and this just happened. Like there was some kind of it was like a thin market. He triggered like a flash crash, but basically he lost $50 million on a fat finger trade.
Ouch.
While he was working at home. And the article I was reading some commentary on it, was like, that's somebody at that level of trading probably has a really nice setup at home. But what you don't have, and you need to compensate for, is if you were in the office and did that, it would take about 2 seconds before people would be screaming at you from every possible direction, all sorts of nasty words. Whereas you're working from home, you might be walking off to get some food or something, and it's a couple minutes there before you get 50 missed calls. So it's just something to think about there. I thought it was an interesting story.
See, that's why your tick volume is your click volume is extremely important. Keep that at 1.
Yeah.
Don't put it on 1,000.
What's wild about this is apparently the risk management stuff was working. Like this wasn't just flipping a ticket. There was a couple confirmation screens before he laid this one in there. So always pay attention. We'll all flip a ticket at some point. And in case you don't know that lingo, flipping a ticket is when you buy when you mean to sell, or vice versa. And it happens. But anyway, Mick, anything else you want to add here? You could also, if you have nothing else as far as the physical environment, kind of go into what your setup looks like in your workstation.
Sure, thanks. I'll probably do a little bit of both. I liked what these guys said, you know, or what all of you said, I should say. If you can, it's good to keep a separate trading computer. You run, whether it's your charting and your execution or just your execution. In the past, I've always, in the professional setting, always had a separate trading computer, and then charting on another computer, or charting and web stuff on another computer. You don't want things getting bogged down. You don't want any viruses or anything like that. So that's important. Screen real estate, you know, it's different for everybody depending on what you're trading, but make sure you have more than enough. You're handicapped if you don't have enough, if you're trading off just a laptop. Speaking of the laptops, you know, are you wired or are you hardlined? Hardline is always better than wired. But you can make do well with a good Wi-Fi internet. Danny mentioned the TV. Definitely have the TV on in the background, not all the time, but sometimes. I like having you know, MSNBC on, or any of these other you know, market discussion channels, where you can just kind of keep an eye on stuff that's going on, hear new things. I do think it's very important to be able to, you know, flip through to some mindless television and have it on low volume in the background. When I was training for myself full time, definitely always used to do that. You know, midday when things slow down, you've kind of done what you wanted to do for the day, or you're waiting. You need to have distractions, healthy, mindless distractions. We all know how stressful trading can be. So if you can, you know, throw a South Park episode on midday to kind of lift your spirits a little bit and get some laughs, that's really good. You know, as far as on the desk, got to stay hydrated throughout the day. Coffee, water. I always keep a big jug of water on the desk. I do have my coffee in the morning, but after 2 cups, you know, my heart starts to beat a little quickly, so I cut it off there. But I also, you need to have snacks. I mean, I am notorious for having a filing cabinet drawer full of snacks, and like Danny said, beef jerky. I just went to the beef jerky factory in Wisconsin the other weekend and spent $135 on beef jerky. I am locked and loaded in my car, in my desk, and in my golf bag with beef jerky at all times, so I'm never hungry. And then something for stress, Danny, I'm surprised you didn't mention it, but before we started, you were talking about your fish hook that you've kept on your desk.
I thought it was kind of strange.
Well,
You know, share some quirks with the people out there. It is strange. I would probably do something to like my calluses on my hands if I had a fish hook on the table, but like something to fidget with's a good thing. I've always been a fan of like playing with silly putty. Something to just keep your fingers occupied, because you shouldn't be, even if you're a day trader, you shouldn't be trading all day. There aren't that many opportunities throughout the day. So anything like that for stress relief, you know, if it's a grip thing, I've had those in the past.
just don't let one of those become a stressor in itself. I had to say this. I can't remember if I've told this before on the coach's playbook, but I used to work with a guy who had this like wood back scratcher that, you know, he's using to scratch his back or whatever else. But then if things were going badly, the hose got one there. It suddenly became a weapon. So, I mean, I've seen him break a monitor with a back scratcher. So like, if that's what you're doing with your stress devices, you know, maybe you need something else, something softer. So
it's like those where you have like the 2 pieces of something connected and you got to work it into a specific way to get it to release. If it creates a frustration trying to get it to release, probably not something you want to keep at your desk.
Yeah. Also, it's never a fun call to make when you have to call the IT department and say you need a new monitor. And when they ask why, there's really no lying when there's a back scratcher stuck inside your monitor.
And then last thing, I guess, is, I keep note cards. I actually have some of these note cards that I snagged from Dan the other week, actually, when I was working from his house. So always good, handwritten notes, great. I do like converting any, relevant handwritten notes for review later over to the computer. Just like John, he's got his German Shepherd at his feet. Mine's usually down there. I could take her or leave her. I love her very much, but she's usually just in the way of me moving my chair throughout the day while I've been working from home. Other
And then
than
there's
that,
the occasional yelp when you like get her feet.
I got her tail, the tip of her tail today.
Oof.
It wasn't
Mm.
too bad. I caught it early, but she still let out a little yelp. And then other than that, as far as your workspace go, I mean, your quote board, first of all, your order window or order book, second of all, to see your fills, rejections, cancellations, obviously position window too, very important to know what you have on. But you got to be checking your working orders throughout the day, especially if you're going to sign off and you don't want to have any exposure on or margin working. Chart, depending on what you're trading, maybe a couple domes on there for the markets that you're watching, especially if you like watching price action. And I mean, I think that's really about it.
I like what you mentioned about screen real estate. There's sort of a Goldilocks principle there too, where you probably want 2 screens would be ideal,
Definitely
maybe
minimal.
3. But as I think I've mentioned before, you need enough screen real estate so that you get the things that you need, but you also don't need to mindlessly fill up 6 screens or something like that, because you can run into the same problem, when you're looking at too many things, paying attention to too many markets. That's not a great way to trade either. So anything that's on your workstation in your window should be important. It should be there because there's a reason. Sort of, it do like the Marie Kondo thing. It's like, does this inspire joy or spark joy in you? Then keep it. But if it's just like the last soybean contract, you clean it from time to time.
Yeah. Oh, couple other things. I used to, when I was trading full time, I used to keep a couple old pay stubs from, excuse my language, but a shitty old job that I never wanted to go back for, to help me, remember the value of my time and money. When I was younger trading, I always wanted more, and that got me into trouble sometimes. So remembering that, hey, I would have had to work X amount of hours to, make this much money, put things in a good perspective for me, and that helped me appreciate dough a little bit more. And then, I forgot to mention, as far as a screen setup, you don't really want to hang your hat on this, but like, it's not a bad idea to have Twitter up and be following some relevant people. As a day trader, information flows do impact the market greatly. And if you can see that, something important came out, it could, be the difference between making or losing thousands of dollars. If you need to cover a trade, if something sounds like it's going against what you might have on, you don't want to miss out on that information. You're doing yourself an injustice, because it's so easy to stay on top of world things like that nowadays.
Especially limiting your downside. I think I said before, the best trading day I ever had was thanks to Twitter and just having it open at like
Associated Press, right, Jack?
Associated Press. I still follow them for this reason. It was somebody hijacked the Associated Press Twitter account, the official one, and put out a tweet that was like, there's been an explosion at the White House or something like that, more to come. And everyone had a very WTF moment. And I just happened to be sitting there at the exact moment it came out. This was also in 2011, 2012. So I think there's still opportunities there. I would encourage people don't become like a Twitter newswire trader. There's a lot more sophisticated language processing that, things are scraping Twitter all the time, high frequency stuff, like some of the real sophisticated stuff. But definitely, if you see something come across that's like, oh, expletive, get out.
Yeah.
you see that pop up, that like now tweet, just get out, or like protect yourself first and foremost. And that's a good point. They have Twitter up, is what I was getting at there.
Thank you.
So Dan or Hogue, you have anything else you'd like to add here?
No, I think it's spot on. Twitter's a great tool. I've used it in the past, but not something you rely on. And just, one last thing. I've talked about this in the past quite a bit. Candy Crush on my phone. When I am getting a little frustrated with the trading, when I do, or I'm in a trade that I know it's going to take a while to play out, or in a little bit of a volatile moment, I'll pull up that Candy Crush and I'll lock into that a little bit just to be pulled away. I think it's really important finding those things that can kind of calm you, get you away, get your head off of watching that trade start to develop. Sit back, ignore it. Candy Crush. It's a great tool.
Cool. Well, you also have a quote for us, I believe, Dan.
I do. It comes from the philosopher Unknown. A yawn is a silent scream for coffee. So if you find yourself getting a little sleepy at your desk, go fill your cup of coffee.
That's
I
good
like
advice
that one.
there. So I'll see some of you guys the next couple days. We'll be playing some golf at some point. Looking forward to that. So Hogue, you want to sign us off here?
Sure. As personal as trading is to each and every one of us, our space around us is very personal. I got a lot of like trading artwork. I got all this stuff around, and it just speaks trading to me. So put yourself in that mindset by surrounding yourself with things that put you in that mindset. We're looking forward to all your success. Be good to each other. Be good to yourself, and pray for peace, folks.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. Go Carolina Disco Turkeys. My new favorite minor league baseball team. Yeah, you like this shit? Pretty tight, right?
All right.
All right.
I like that. Cool
Yeah.
shirt.
See you next week, guys.